The Smart Money Woman is a Nigerian TV series that was released in 2020. It's based on a book by Adesuwa and follows 5 friends as they sort out their messy financial lives. While it has an ensemble vibe to it, the main character among the 5 friends is Zuri. She's, from the outside looking in, living a fabulous life. Great car, gorgeous apartment, well-paying job. In reality, Zuri is broke and has a broken down car, an apartment she can't afford, and a job she's about to lose. Her friends are equally messed up. We'll get to them shortly. This review will be episodic, so none of that thematic thing I do with movies where we examine class throughout the show, then maybe gender or whatever. I'm afraid if I do that, it will be too big, and then the Olympic champ procrastinator in me will take center stage and I'll never complete the project. So, episodes it is. Season 1 of The Smart Money Woman has 7 episodes, so we're looking at 7 separate utter lunacy videos. Zuri is the main character. Her 4 best friends are Tami, the flighty fashion designer.
See, Valale, when I am done with this dress, you're going to step on their necks. As in, they will have 0 legs to stand on.
Oh my gosh.
Adesuwa, the conservative married lawyer.
As a married woman, so us unmarried people don't want privacy again. Single and die.
Ladun, the fabulous housewife.
Hey, honey.
Hey, sweetie. How's your day?
Fine, doing a little bit of shopping. And then I'm going out with the girls later for some drinks.
Shopping, eh? About that,
About what?
And Lara, the tough oil and gas executive.
Lara.
What? No, I'm sorry, but Zuri still has not told us why she's broke. I mean, you make over $500,000 a month. How? Okay, I'm sorry, but no. Your poor planning is not about to become my personal liability.
Full disclosure, I haven't read the book the show is based on, but the author was an executive producer on the show, so it's safe to say that the show must be a solid reflection of the spirit of the book. And if you need another reason to stay away from business and personal finance books, honey, the show will give it to you in spades. The show is mainly about money, so that'll be the key theme, but we'll talk about so much more as we follow the girls. We'll touch on class, gender, religion, black tax, love and romance, and so much more. Anywho, let's jump right in. We open with Zuri in all her fabulousness, coming back home from some solo vacation. While she's strutting her sexy self at the airport, there's an accompanying voiceover. This show uses a lot of voiceovers, and boy, oh boy, will we get a chance to examine them. Brace yourselves, friends. This is the opening voiceover, assuming I'm not able to play it for you because copyright.
Welcome to Lagos, the real concrete jungle, where the hustle is real, but the packaging is even more profound. The goal is to make money, but for many, the emphasis is on looking rich as opposed to being rich. Fake it till you make it, Abby. But can you blame us? In Africa, poverty is a big part of our history, and to escape said poverty, the focus is primarily on earning. We are not taught in any formal framework how to keep money or grow money. Meet Zuri. She's living a fabulous life.
Welcome to Lagos, the real concrete jungle, where the hassle is real, but the packaging is even more profound. The goal is to make money, but for many, the emphasis is on looking rich as opposed to being rich. Fake it till you make it, right? But can you blame us? In Africa, poverty is a big part of our history, and to escape that poverty, the focus is primarily on earning. We are not taught in any formal framework how to keep money or grow money. End of voiceover. Let's take it step by step. Welcome to Lagos, the real concrete jungle, where the hassle is real, but the packaging is even more profound. What does that even mean? What does that mean, friends? Anyone? Anyway, onwards. Where the goal is to make money, but the emphasis is on looking rich as opposed to being rich. Fake it till you make it, right? I just shake my head every time I hear that. It's so patronizing. Does anyone really think that there's a person on earth who would choose looking rich over actually being rich? Literally, when you're rich, you have the means to look rich. So everyone would choose actually being rich over merely looking rich. That framing has this underlying assumption that people are so dumb they would choose looking rich over actually being rich. And can we talk about the utility of looking rich in a society that denigrates the poor? We live in a society in which the richer you are, the more you actually get from people, from respect to opportunities to resources. The farther from that ideal you appear to be, the fewer the things that are availed to you. Society literally and figuratively spits on the poor and then has the audacity to judge people who do whatever they can to distance themselves from that. Who wouldn't want to distance themselves from any appearance of lack and poverty in a society that shames and despises the poor? In his book, Evicted, Matthew Desmond talks about how even the poor refuse to identify themselves as such. It is crazy to judge people for not wanting to look poor, for wanting to look rich. The writers accurately describe Lagos as a concrete jungle, a place where you have to hustle. That means it's a difficult place to survive, much less make it. What else is left to majority of the people who are not able to become rich other than at least look rich on the surface? One of the reasons people focus on looking rich instead of getting rich is because they have faced the fact that they're not going to be rich. It's not going to happen. It's a settling, a difficult, painful, heartbreaking acceptance of your circumstances.
I should have never pretended to be someone else. It could cost me all my dreams in life.
You got dreams in life? That's lit.
Everyone would choose actually being rich over merely looking rich. Why else do we peddle stories in awe of Silicon Valley billionaires who wear the same clothes, and those rich Kikuyu men and women who go to the bank in their old pickups and old clothes to transact in the millions? And yes, it's only Kikuyus, and yes, that one is only for the Kenyans. They may not look rich, but they are rich, and as a society, we revere that. We revere them. If an ordinary person dressed the way rich people sometimes do, they'd catch so much hell for it. Ordinary people have to dress a certain way to get the bare minimum when it comes to respect. They don't have the luxury the rich do to just wear the same black polo neck everywhere. Poor people have only what they look like. That's it. That's all they got going for them. Being rich. Then there's the accompanying assumption that wealth accumulation, hoarding, i.e. being rich, should be everyone's goal. Obviously, that's not everybody's goal. Some of us want more from life than just primitive accumulation. The only reason we participate in this messed up capitalist hoard for yourself system is because we don't have much of a choice. Otherwise, getting rich is not what we're about. We're just trying to survive. Dunk on Africa, but can you blame us? In Africa, poverty is a big part of our history, and to escape said poverty, the focus is primarily on earning. We are not taught in any formal framework how to keep or grow money. There's so much to unpack here. First of all of that is a lie. I don't want to get into the poverty being part of our history because it's deep, and these writers are in no way considering or taking into account an exploitative, oppressive, colonial legacy that stripped the continent of its resources and people and continues to do so courtesy of imperialism. Poverty is a big part of our history? What is that even? Poverty is currently a huge part of our present. What are these people talking about? Next, let's talk about this alleged focus on earning and not keeping or growing money. First, we are not taught it. Lays the blame on our elders, our ancestors. That framing, that language suggests that the people who should have taught us failed to do so. So it's the fault of our ancestors, young and old. Okay, we found the people to lay the blame on. Then what did they fail to teach us? How to keep and grow money. What is this even? Africans had a saving culture of sorts. People had granaries where they stored their harvest. That same saving culture could be translated into cash. Why do people just immediately assume Africans didn't know shit? Don't know shit. Like we don't know about saving and growing shit? And we wasn't taught? Sit down. First, the reason people don't save and grow money is because too many of us, rarely earn enough to save. And that's for those lucky enough to earn something. People don't even have enough to live on, much less store away somewhere so they can later make more money from it. Second, this is the 21st century we're living in. Suppose we take the thesis about not being taught by whomever or whoever is supposed to teach us about saving.
It's whom when it's the object of the sentence and who when it's the subject.
That sounds right.
Well, it sounds right, but is it?
How did Ryan use it as an object?
As an object.
Ryan used me as an object.
Suppose we take that to be true and accurate. What's the excuse now? This information is everywhere. People know about saving from a million other sources, not least of all the internet and TV shows designed to gaslight poor people. This growing money thing is complicated for me because most investment strategies I've heard of just seem to be capitalist ways of further exploiting workers. For example, this one is contested, but rentals. In a capitalist system, housing is an investment from which you make money, not a human right. Landlords and rentiering, in general, are just very exploitative ways of making and growing money. People have to live somewhere, so you take advantage of this need to exploit them. One landlord on Twitter recently talked about how he had this tenant, a woman who lived in his buildings for years. She was always late on rent, and so she was always paying punitive late fees every month. The woman got married and got children and moved into another one of his houses, a bigger one. She was still late every month, paying late fees every month. This landlord said that woman, in a period of about 10 years, bought him 2 full houses based on her rent and late fees. You tell me what that is, if not exploitation. That woman struggled to fucking pay rent every month and was always late. And this landlord is just cashing in and buying houses from her money, huh? Meanwhile, everyone's screaming about how rentals are the best investment. How are you going to exploit people like that and call it an investment? Others like stocks, where capitalism prioritizes making money for shareholders rather than fairly compensating the workers and producing quality products, just seem like an extension of this exploitation. I'll admit, I'm not the most knowledgeable about investments, but all of it just usually seems suspect. You dig a little deeper and find that the money that should be going to the people actually working, producing value, now suddenly goes to some people who did nothing but put some money down. Another thing that irritates me about the whole not being taught thing is it brings to mind the useless suggestions people make that money management should be taught in school from little kids to high school and even university. All the fucking things we could teach children about the world, about how to be decent people, living in harmony with others and nature. All the fucking things we could teach them about what it means to be human, about justice and freedom and liberation. You want us to prioritize teaching them about hoarding money? Some made up shit? My God. All of this blaming our ancestors and essentially blaming poor Africans for their condition just seems like a terrible place to start. But hey, that's where they chose to start. That was their choice, not ours. Learn from the rich. The choices made by the writers are so interesting to me. We're supposed to learn financial literacy from a girl with a well-paying job who buys designer clothes and shoes and whatnot and can afford to just go on vacation. How? I'm so confused. This woman earns in a single month more than your average person earns in a year. At some point, we're told she earns 650,000 naira.
Lara.
What? No, I'm sorry, but Zuri still has not told us why she's broke. I mean, you make over $500,000 a month. How?
That's $1,468 per month. Friends, per month. Like, I can't even. That's about 180,000 Kenya shillings. Friends, That's a rich motherfucker. Your average Kenyan earns about 22,000 per month. Do you know how long it would take them to earn what Zuri earns in a month? 8 months. 8 months to earn what Zuri earns in a fucking month. That's almost a whole year to earn what Zuri gets in a month. The average monthly income in Nigeria is 71,000 naira according to the good old internet. You know how long it would take a person earning that to get what Zuri earns in a month? 9 months. And that's who we choose to be the face of our financial literacy and personal finance class in Nigeria, a country in which 60% of the country lives not just in poverty, but in extreme poverty. Okay, friends, now you see what we're dealing with. On African soil, where most people can't even imagine playing with money at Zuri's level, these writers choose to focus on a designer-wearing, Mercedes-Benz driving woman. This is who matters to them. This is who they care about. This is whose financial health matters to them. The levels of irony in a show that centers rich people dunking on poor people for wanting to dress like and look like rich people is overwhelming. Like, by choosing a minority rich woman in a country with majority poor people, you're saying you don't care about poor people. And poor people are hearing that and trying to look like rich people. Then you turn around and dunk on them for wanting to be affiliated with the rich people who you prefer and center. Like, what? What are poor people supposed to do? Keep looking like the poor motherfuckers you look down on and ignore? What? Anyway. Marriage obsession. As you recall, we met Zuri at the airport, dripping in designer wear and coming back from vacation. As soon as Zuri lands, she finds out this guy she was dating is now engaged. And it's everywhere. It's important to note that these girls are known in the Lagos social scene, so their business often ends up on the blogs and gossip sites. Zuri reads that engagement announcement and goes to the guy's place to find out what's up. They were on a break and now he's engaged? How? Anyway, Zuri finds her ex, they talk, he says nonsense, she's hurt. She goes home. Zuri gets home and the internet is abuzz with news of her ex's engagement. People, as they want to do, are weighing in with their invaluable insights. That motherfucker had told Zuri he wasn't ready for marriage or whatever, and now he's engaged. People online are talking about binding that spirit of Zuri where you lose a man to someone else after dating forever. People are wondering what she did wrong, criticizing her for apparently showing off everywhere when they was together. Me, all I'm wondering is this. Why is marriage the metric by which we gauge a man's seriousness? Now, probably people are assuming he's serious about this new girl, more serious about her than he ever was about Zuri because he wants to marry her. The engaged girl herself is probably assuming the same. Babe, it don't mean shit. A nigga will marry you and it won't change nothing. People in the comments talking about, now look at God, as if marriage is some kind of reward God gives deserving girls or something. More like a curse and a punishment if you ask me. So Zuri's ex in a flashback talking to Zuri tells her how he doesn't want to rush things, how he's not ready, and get this, apparently, according to him, marriage slows a nigga down, career-wise.
I don't mean to rush or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, it's more for my mom. And we've been dating for about 20 months now, and she's not met you, and she's wondering, when are you guys gonna meet?
20 months you've been counting?
No. No. I our anniversary, I've been keeping track.
Oh. Well, I don't really like to rush into things, and I'm not really ready like that right now. Marriage is not in my immediate horizon.
Yeah.
It slows the nigga down. You know what I mean?
No, I get it. I get it, babe.
Yeah.
What are you saying? What are you saying? What is he saying?
What are you talking about? What is he talking about? Marriage slows a nigga down? This has to be the biggest lie ever told. Nothing accelerates a motherfucker's achievement of his career goals like the ever-present free labor and pleasure box that is a good wife. Are you kidding me? Anyway, why is marriage the goal? Why is Zuri acting in that flashback like that's where their relationship must now go after 20 months together? Marriage is not synonymous with commitment. Like, I can't even with this propaganda that situates marriage as a reward, a goal, a destination. That's some bullshit. There's not a single thing that's appealing about getting into an agreement in which you're expected to perform free labor and be ever present for sexual release while operating with the knowledge that you're the lesser person in that relationship. That don't seem like a gift to me. If God wants to give me something like that, I'm saying right now, in front of the 16 witnesses who watch my videos, nigga, keep it. I'm good. Women, men, and money.
Next time now.
Where is Mr. Pius? Where did you get my car?
Wow. Listen, okay? I do not believe in random coincidences, but the fact that your hair is matching my shirt has to be a message from God. My name is Bobby. What's your name?
Hi, I'm Tami.
Listen, Tami, I know you might be married or you might have a boyfriend, but if you were my girlfriend, all the money that I have, and I have a lot, I will spend it on you. Come on, give me your number now. Let me at least, get to know you.
No, I don't think so.
Listen, okay, don't give me your number. Just give me your account number. Let me appreciate your beauty.
My account number?
Yeah. Ask about me now, Bobby. They know me. What are you saying?
Look.
Hey, okay?
Well...
Don't think about it too much. Thinking always spoils the soup. What's your number?
08.
You know what, just type yours.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, let me find this one. Take care, okay?
Here.
All right. Angel, look at you. Fresh fish. I'll call you.
Okay. Bye.
A second character is introduced, one of Zuri's besties. Tami is a hot fashion designer. Here's how we're introduced to her character. She's outside waiting for someone when this super extra guy comes out. He tries to talk to her, but she's not feeling it. Then his sweet ride is brought around by the chauffeur, and suddenly she's into it. She's into him. There's a lot to unpack here, but can we start with how that nigga calls her fresh fish? And she was just there smiling. Fresh fish? Fresh fish? Need I say more? There's a Kenyan advertisement that tries to communicate a similar message, and people in the YouTube comments were just not having it. When the guy's walking, as in he has no car, some random girls make fun of him, laugh at him, and whatnot. And then he gets a loan and buys a car. Suddenly, they're all into him. This messaging pisses me off. It frames women as this materialistic people who are only after your money, which is steeped in misogyny. In an attempt not to be so quick on the draw in massacring people who advance some narratives, I'm pulling back a little and taking some time to look at that narrative from a different angle. My gut reaction to rich men is, I don't want to say fear, so I'll go with great reluctance. Rich men as a group are to me a red flag. In a patriarchal society in which wealth means you can get away with all kinds of shit, I don't fuck with rich men. In all fairness, they also don't fuck with me, so if you was going to say that in the comments, sorry. Rich men are dangerous. They are too used to getting their way, too used to having people acquiesce to all their demands, too used to playing by a different set of rules, all of which are very dangerous things when combined with masculinity in a patriarchal society. So I don't get this immediate attraction and change of attitude because a nigga has money. I'll say this though, maybe the reason so many of our stories center this finding a rich man thing is because of the escape it provides. I mean, capitalism will do a number on your mind, body, and soul. So if you can get your way out of poverty, ain't that something? In a patriarchal society in which most of the wealth is hoarded in the hands of men, one way that women have to escape poverty is to marry well. to find a man willing to take care of their material needs. I once saw a tweet in which the person said one of the reasons men hate women and continue to advance these gold digger narratives is because women can sleep with men for money, but men can't. Although, come on, you can if you put your mind to it. They're in essence jealous that women can just by relating with a man secure their financial futures in a way that men can't. And I'll never forget that tweet. Women are continually framed as gold diggers by people who have nothing to say about the brutality of the system that pushes them to do that to survive. Fuck that. Sexual assault for laughs. Back to Zuri.
Oh, no.
So you can talk now.
These are my things. These are my things. No! My God! Sir, these are designers. Fendi. Oh, Christian Dior. Oh, Louis Vuitton.
Shut up, dear. Look at this guy. You're not even serious. So this is where you have been carrying all my service charge and you put him. Huh?
Sir, a girl has to have nice things now. See, look, Adesuwa and one assemble and Julia Peters. You see this?
Is that so?
Sir, all I ask is that you handle my things with care.
Oh. To handle your things with the care, okay? I can handle your things with the care, you know?
I don't understand.
Come on. Stop doing like a small girl. All this service charge wahala will just disappear. Fiam. You know, so just let me handle your things with care.
Zuri is playing these cat and mouse games with her landlord because she hasn't paid her service charge and she doesn't have any money to do it. This from a girl who just came back from vacation in luxury brands. Anyway, she has this nightmare about her landlord asking her for sexual favors in exchange for the service charge. For some reason, it feels to me like it was framed for comedic relief. The thought of potential sexual violation being framed for comedic relief is beyond repulsive. Did any of you get that? This is actually one of the things I'd love to be wrong about, so if you watched it and you didn't get that vibe, please tell me so in the comments, that'll be great. Broke versus poor.
Hey, mommy.
I'm in trouble. My car broke down and now my mechanic is calling practically my entire salary to fix it.
Huh. So you're broke?
I'm not broke.
Do you even know what it means to be broke?
Everyone knows what it means to be broke. It's to be poor, right?
Zuri is in her office where she's supposed to be preparing a presentation she just found out about. She calls Tami, the fresh fish who changed her mind when a guy's rich car appeared. Zuri tells her about her car troubles and her mechanic, saying it will cost almost her entire salary to fix it. To which Tami says, "So you broke?" Zuri says no. Then Tami asks Zuri if she knows what being broke means. To which Zuri replies, "Everyone knows what to be broke means. It's to be poor, right?" If you predicted that was the segue the writers were looking for to tell us the difference, go to the head of the class. The almighty writers speak through the next voiceover. Apparently, broke means if you lost your primary source of income today, you wouldn't be able to maintain the lifestyle you have become accustomed to because you have no assets to rely on. Great. Am I just the only one who was taught that when you're contrasting terms, you have to give the definition of each? What is to be poor then? Are the poor so insignificant as to not warrant a mere definition? If a person earning 20,000 Kenya shillings or 70,000 naira or $160 per month lost that source of income, I doubt there's any universe in which they'd be able to sustain their lifestyle. Would that make them poor or broke? It was at this point that I decided this film was not about poor people at all and would make no effort to meaningfully engage with the impossibility of financial security and freedom for the poor. That's fine. From here on out, let's all keep in mind that this is a show about rich people and how they can stay rich and get richer. I hope we're on the same page going forward. No more expecting to hear anything about the poors and how they can improve their pathetic condition. One last thing before we focus on the rich. Sustain your lifestyle. I don't have a lifestyle. I have a day-to-day survival. Keep my head above water thing going as I furiously paddle beneath the surface like a cute little duck. Only rich people have a lifestyle or assets, another indicator that this show is not about the poor, which is fine. From here on out, we're keeping that in mind. Like all other things in society, fuck the poor, focus on the rich. Introducing Lara and liabilities. Lara is a tough oil and gas executive. Here's how she's introduced to us. She's in her house, a rich person's house by any definition of the word, and she's with her brother. Her brother tells us that Lara drives a badass car and that he wants to quit school to become a football player. Lara's pissed as fuck. She tells him how she's paid his fees since he was a little boy, how the clothes on his back were bought by her, how the car he drives around impressing girls was bought by her, and so on. Soon as you hear this in an African film, you know we're about to talk about black tax. Black tax is a dicey topic for me because I'm poor. That means to someone, I'm their black tax. I'm their burden. So that's my bias. It's important for you to know that going in.
Hey, I'm listening to you. What rubbish are you saying? You want to quit school? Is this a prank?
Sister Lara, it's time for me to chase my dream of football and you can't get in my way.
Have you been drinking? Stand in your way. No, adjust. Let me look at you. Stand in your way. Yemi, I've been paying your fees since you were in secondary school. The clothes on your back, who paid for them? The car that you drive up and down carrying girls, who paid for it? I work myself like a dog day and night for you. And now you have the guts to come to me and tell me that you want to drop out of school to chase a pipe dream at 22. Do you have any idea at what age footballers get drafted? Which league is going to sign you?
Sis, all this sacrifice, me have not seen anything. You work in an oil company, you drive a badass car. Like, do you see the review of your car online? Anyways, I knew you were going to say this. So, I knew you were going to talk down on my dreams and, just laugh at me. Mommy was right, you're going to do this. You know what, sis? My dreams are valid.
You've gone mad. Do you understand? Oreo, I think you've gone mad. Your dreams are valid. Your dreams are valid. Your Shea, Lupita, and Yongo. Your dreams are valid. See, let me tell you. Not all dreams are valid. Not all dreams are valid, especially not one that will keep you a liability to me for God knows how many years.
Who said I'm going to be a liability? Sis, do you know how much footballers that play for club side get paid?
See, I have said everything that I'm willing to say on this subject. Do you understand? If you want to chase your dreams, then you will go back to your mother's house and chase it from there. Let her support your dreams from there. Because me, I've tried for you. Do you understand? I've tried for you.
Sis, you're just being unreasonable. You're being unsupportive.
Get
Lara says, I work myself like a dog for you. And friends, I want to believe her. But I don't. Listen, she may feel the burden to work harder because of her family's dependence on her, but come on. You don't work yourself like a dog for him or for them. People who wear designer clothes don't work themselves like a dog for anyone else. It just feels like a manipulative statement to cast herself as the victim. I'm not saying Lara isn't a victim, but hey, she's not suffering. Nothing about her lifestyle and home says she's suffering. That 22-year-old brother insists that his dreams are valid and Lara's just standing in his way, which pisses Lara the fuck off, and she hits him. She says not all dreams are valid, certainly not the ones that will keep him a liability to her and friends. That line is chilling. She says football will keep him a liability to her, not make him one. Is there something worse than being called a liability? There's so much to unpack here. It's a financial literacy show after all. I should have had someone being called a liability on my bingo card. That's on me. She hits that 22-year-old boy multiple times. First, he's 22. You have no business hitting a 22-year-old. If words can't work, kick him out. Also, you shouldn't be hitting anybody. What gives you the right? Because you pay for all the shit and now you feel like they're disrespecting you? Okay, you know men use that argument forever and continue to use it, right? Because they're younger than you or in some way subordinate like children. You know abusive men have used this argument too, right? She calls him a liability and talks about her dream of spending her money on herself. Meanwhile, I'm looking at her like, babe, designer clothes, big house, badass car, oil executive job. You already spending money on yourself. Maybe not as much as you'd like, but come on. What's with framing yourself as a victim? We're not... Let me speak for me. There's no universe in which I have the capacity to feel sorry for an oil and gas exec with a badass job and designer clothes and a huge house. Like, babe, you're all right. Your family may be holding you back, but you do spend money on yourself. Stop with that I'm the victim thing. Stop that. Just stop. It feels to me like TV shows insist on this singular black tax narrative, where this career black person is being weighed down by their family that's just taking advantage of them and living the best lives ever at their expense. Like this is the only way they can frame the black tax issue. Are there people who take advantage of their family members? Yes, obviously. But why is it that all the stories out there just choose this singular narrative? Black tax, for those who may be unfamiliar with the term, refers to the extra money that black professionals are expected to give every month to support their less fortunate nuclear and extended families. It's all those sacrifices, financial and otherwise, that black people have to make, are forced to make, to support their less fortunate relatives. Constantly giving this money keeps them from investing and saving and getting to the financial levels that their similarly unencumbered mates are able to reach. Why? Why are all the black tax stories those of family members who are spoiled and take advantage of their relatives? There's this concerted effort to tell just these singular stories that demonize poor people. It's part of this capitalistic narrative that elevates hard work and doing it yourself and demonizes any form of dependence or interdependence. The truth is, most people who are dependent on their relatives don't get whatever Lara's brother's getting. Designer clothes and a cut to impress girls? Come on. That's such a deliberate misrepresentation of what black tax on the ground truly looks like. It's money being sent for school fees and rent and food and the most basic options in each case. Designer clothes? A car? Come on. More like the cheapest rent, the cheapest food, the cheapest clothes, the cheapest school fees. I think about all the people who watched this show who are in some way dependent on some other family member, and in a country like Nigeria with 60% of the people living in extreme poverty, that's a lot of people. What must it be like to see yourself? Because you know the writers have put in that spoiled boy as a proxy for you. What must it be like to see yourself portrayed like that? As someone who fits the bill, someone who's partly financially dependent on a family member, there's nothing like being constantly reminded that you're a liability. There's nothing like it. When that's you, you don't need anyone to call you a liability, to remind you that you're a liability. You call yourself that every hour, on the hour, and 3 times before you successfully pull yourself out of bed every morning. You don't need a reminder. So for a show to go out of their way to remind you and to frame you as some spoiled, ungrateful, idiotic boy, wow. That's something, friends. That's something. There was a year where I lost my job and got a monthly stipend from one of my family members. You can't even think when you're that broke. Or is that one poor? All the money you get is for essentials. Essentials. We used to buy the cheapest of everything, from rice to drinks. I started going to some market in town because that's where vegetables were cheaper. You count and count and count that money because it has to get to the end of the month, because you can't ask for more. And this isn't about the person supporting you. This is about you. Your perception of yourself. You just cannot be even more of a liability. So you don't ask for more. When the prices of things go up, you almost want to cry. Actually, you want to cry all the time. Whatever is happening with Lara and her brother is not representative of what black tax actually looks like. It couldn't be further from what the reality actually is. Now that it seems like I've really dunked on the people who find themselves on the Lara side of the black tax equation, I'll say this. Money ruins relationships, it's just that. When every phone call you get from your family members is about, oh, this person is sick and the school wants us to buy that and we're out of this thing or the other, it must be the worst. Like, you no longer have a relationship with those people beyond your ability to meet their financial needs. And that sucks. That especially sucks when it comes to family members because they're supposed to be your people. But now you're just an animated ATM that they occasionally make withdrawals from. That must really suck. So I get that. Plus, in this case, Lara's making sacrifices that nobody seems to appreciate. It's her money, so she gets to do with it what she wants, and she chooses to help her family members. Meanwhile, her brother's completely spoiled and just can't see how good he has it, along with the fact that it costs her. Still, I always feel like the person giving money has it better. They can say no, but if you're the poor relative asking for money for food, what are your options but to humble yourself and beg? Anyway, no one wins under capitalism. Everything gets tarnished. Young and foolish. That boy is spoiled as fuck. And an idiot to boot. In his defense though, he's 22. He still believes in things that people past 22 can clearly see are nonsense. Many, if not most 22-year-olds still have this view of the world that is yet to be crushed and mangled by reality. It's annoying, and you can get pissed, but come on. Weren't we all this young and foolish at one point? Maybe not all of us, but enough of us at 22 still had ridiculous hopes and dreams about our future. If you're lucky, that is. If you grew up legit poor, hopes and dreams are crushed pretty early on.
I should have never pretended to be someone else. It could cost me all my dreams in life.
You got dreams in life? That's lit.
At 22, I thought I was going to become a millionaire by running a small business. By the time I was 30, then dreams were ashes. At this point, I'm content living day to day. My cats and I survive the day, and that's enough for me. I can't even entertain dreams about the future. I no longer have the capacity for it. And when I cast my gaze that far ahead, all I see is even more of what I have now, which is even more luck, even more doom and gloom. The elder sibling dynamics. That 22-year-old kid is dumb. But Lord, many of us remember what it was like having those kinds of nonsensical ambitions. Somebody just needed to talk to that kid. Maybe not our girl, because she's justifiably pissed and stressed, but that wasn't how to handle it. There's something about the way African families are constituted that is worrisome to me. I don't know about other cultures, so I can only speak about some of us. There's this thing where the eldest child has some kind of almost parental authority over the rest, which is why Lara in her anger feels justified in beating her brother up. She feels justified in violating his body, a grown man who can't do nothing as his sister hits him over and over. What must that do to a person? I don't care how much money you have spent on me, you don't get to hit me. Fuck you and get your motherfucking hands off of me. Family members with money just do whatever they want and get away with it. No one says nothing because they hold all the power. What if you say something and they get pissed and refuse to pay your fee or rent or send you money for food, huh? You're so precarious, so subject to their whims. Can you imagine how scary that is? I think about how people with money either don't think about this or choose to weaponize it. So precarious people choose silence and the family member with money just does whatever they want. Yeah, well, don't fucking touch me, bitch. All I know is Lara is not struggling. Nothing about her home and lifestyle and appearance suggests that she's suffering. So why on God's green earth are we being asked to feel sorry for her, to side with her? Sure, she's going through something, having to support her family. That must feel like a huge burden. But come on, you're okay. If there's someone we should be feeling sorry for, it should be your dumb brother who's about to learn just how harsh life can be. Not you, you're fine. It's too many people out here going through the most who are more deserving of our pity and concern. Not you, babe. Not an oil and gas exec. Back to Zuri. Get rich quick schemes. Zuri's super annoying colleague comes to her office trying to sell her in on a pyramid scheme. This scene is, I'm guessing, supposed to show us how people want get-rich-quick schemes instead of the commitment of hard work. Okay, 1. It refutes the earlier thesis that people prioritize looking rich over being rich. Friend, pyramid schemes are proof positive that people are desperately trying to get rich. 2nd, this attempt to bring back the idea that people who are wealthy sort of work for it, they don't go into these get-rich-quick pyramid scheme type things, is disingenuous and pathetic. Too many rich people got it easy, from inheritance to being politically exposed and good old conning and exploiting other people's labor. Heck, they're often the biggest winners in and the people behind pyramid schemes. This attempt to sanitize the wealthy is just ew. Not now, babe. We're in the eat the rich age. We know too much about those rich motherfuckers to fall for the tired old rich people work hard propaganda. Men's money. Zuri's ex, who's getting married, sets up a meeting with her. He wants to talk or something. Then he offers to pay her service charge for her. Zuri says hell no. When she tells her friend, Tami, the fresh fish, predictably says she should have took it as punishment or something. And I was there cheering her on like, yeah, you should have took it. Money is money. Friends, then I remembered men. This is the same group that will rape you because they feel you owe them sex because they bought you one drink. The group that has been known to commit literal murder because they bought you a drink and you didn't respond the way they wanted. So no, maybe don't take money from men even if you think it's punishing them, like Tami suggests to Zuri. This marks the first time I'm in agreement with Zuri, as tangentially as it may be.
No judgment. How is this even possible? You were 2.5 pounds lighter last week. I thought you were doing a juice fast.
See, what happened to no judgment?
Introducing Ladun. We're first introduced to Ladun when she's with her trainer being shamed for gaining 2.5 pounds when she should have been on a juice first. So there's that. It surprises me how much we continue to be obsessed by and susceptible to pressures about weight. Why does this remain the case? I don't know. I just assumed we'd all be fighting this messaging, except when I look at my life and the people around me, it still has such a tight hold on people. I'm going to read What We Don't Talk About When We Talk About Fat and Roxane Gay's memoir, Hunger, and then I'll holler back. Hopefully there'll be something clarifying there. There'll definitely be something clarifying there. Our next interaction with Ladun is while she's shopping, even after her husband expresses concern about how much money she's spending. Brace yourself.
Hey, honey.
Hey, sweetie. How's your day?
Fine, doing a little bit of shopping. And then I'm going out with the girls later for some drinks.
Shopping, eh? About that,
About what?
the accountant called me a bit concerned that you've spent about 3 million naira in the last week. On what?
On shopping, my dear husband. Why? Is there a problem?
What exactly are you buying? We have everything.
But hey, please now, please don't be boring. I needed to change my wardrobe, you know this. But what's the point of having money if we never spend it? Or you don't want me to spend your money? You know what you are working for. Me, I'm not spending your money.
Okay, fair point. But please, relax on the crazy shopping, alright? I mean, the accountant keeps calling me worried. You know, money is finite.
Okay, fine, I've heard.
Our girl spent about 3 million naira on shopping in the last week. And she's still out shopping. That's about $6,800 and 800,000 Kenya shillings in a week. I want us all to remember that the average Nigerian earns about $160 or 70,000 naira or 20,000 Kenya shillings a month. It would take the average Nigerian 42 months to make what our girl just spent in the past week and is still shopping. Yeah, this is who's going to teach us financial literacy and independence. Hope you have your pens and notebooks out, kids. Introducing Adesuwa. We're introduced to the married lawyer, Adesuwa, at the beginning of the film. She's in some kind of divorce proceeding with her client and the other side. When we finally see her husband, you get why that was her introduction. That motherfucker is a loser, and he's cheating, and they're gonna get divorced. This is a prophetic scene if I ever saw one.
As a married woman,
So us unmarried people don't want privacy again.
single and die.
Hello?
Guys, this is why I wish Ladun was here. See, somebody will back me up. So, anyway, when you guys get married, you understand what I'm saying?
Oh my God, yes, because our single brains are too dark, so we cannot comprehend. Hello?
Plus, she's one of those as a married woman this, as a married woman that types. Oh, that always ends in premium tears.
Lara. What? No, I'm sorry, but Zuri still has not told us why she's broke. I mean, you make over $500,000 a month. How? Okay, I'm sorry, but no. Your poor planning is not about to become my personal liability.
Collection plate for Zuri. Zuri meets her friends at the end of the day and it comes out that she's broke. Adesuwa, the married to a loser lawyer, suggests the girls collect money and give it to Zuri. Tami, the fresh fish, should change their mind when she saw the car, is like, I ain't got no money, so I can't. Lara, the oil exec who beat up and kicked out her brother, says she's not about to let Zuri's poor planning become her own personal problems. Everyone's shocked, so Lara defends her lie. She's like, you earn more than 500,000 naira a month. How you broke? It sounds harsh, but she's keeping it real. They truly don't know why she's broke. And she earns over 500,000 naira per month. And she just went on holiday. This is not a person who needs more money. It's a person who needs to figure out their planning, etc. So, Lara's right. In closing, let's consider the voiceovers that we may not have touched on.
There's a lot of fear surrounding the way African women think and feel about money, and the subsequent consequences of our relationship with money. The fear of failing, the fear of not being able to afford the lifestyle one has become accustomed to, the fear of losing it all and becoming dependent on others.
One of the voiceovers goes, quote, "There's a lot of fear surrounding the way African women think and feel about money and the subsequent consequences of our relationship with money. The fear of failing, the fear of not being able to afford the lifestyle one has become accustomed to, the fear of losing it all and becoming dependent on others." End quote. Hey, luckily we're going to see everything. Now they're concerned about African women's fears. The very show that went out of its way to demean people who are financially dependent on others is now telling us that being dependent on others is a major fear that African women have. Could it be, perchance, because of ideas like the ones you guys are propagating about being dependent on people? Anyways, fear is such a shit upon emotion, and it doesn't make sense to me, first of all. These fears are not unique to African women. Second, and most importantly, it feels to me like fear is the only natural thing to feel while living through a capitalist society. Add to that the impending calamities awaiting us as a result of climate change, and I don't know why there's negativity around fear. People should be feeling two key things, fear and anger, at all times in a capitalist society. Fear and anger. Righteous indignation and a measure of hope that things can change if we try. And the truth is, I think many people feel that. The individualization of these collective feelings is just more from the personal responsibility playbook. It's your fear that's holding you back. You need to work on that fear, overcome it before it overcomes you. It's all on you. There's no recognition of the society-wide nature of these things, no systematic analysis of the psychological effects of living through capitalism, multiple recessions, living through pandemics, wars, and genocides. Nah, just, you need to deal with that fear. It's what's holding you back.
At the end of the day, we're all afraid of something. But the difference between successful people and average people is that they acknowledge their fears and they don't let fear overcome them or stop them from achieving their goals.
Apparently, according to the closing monologue, at the end of the day, we're all afraid of something. But the difference between successful people and average people is that they acknowledge their fears and they don't let fear overcome them or stop them from achieving their goals. What you face and accept, you conquer. You ever just wanted to reach in through the TV and slap someone? Moving on. This episode insists on focusing on fear and looking at Zuri and her vacation lifestyle. I'm wondering if another expression of fear is living your best life now because you don't know what will happen next. You could lose it all and then imagine never having done anything you wanted even though you could have. That whole treat yourself while you got it thing. Not that it should come before everything, including things like rent, but yeah. This entire series, if we're going by this episode, will just be more of punching down, you know? It's your fault. Your life is fucking fucked. Face it and straighten it to be like the successful. Zero systemic analysis anywhere. No talk about economic systems, corruption, exploitation, none of that. Anyway, until next time, friends, remember, it's all your fucking fault. I feel compelled to add, I like this show. I found it entertaining and fun. The advice is but the show is good. The girls are hot. They're great performers. Lara, the brother beater, is, just amazing. She truly makes every scene she's in better. She's a phenomenal performer. Tami and Zuri have really embodied their roles. Adesuwa reminds me of every married woman ever. It's sad. She also really embodies that role. Ladun, the one who spent 3 million naira in a week, just really fits the profile of a married woman who lives to shop. Plus, she's so hot. Call me shallow. I like the show. The stories are entertaining. The production value is something else. And it's fun to analyze. To be clear, I'm not dunking on the show, just on the dubious messages about personal finance. Fuck that capitalist apologetics. More power to the girls, especially Lara and Ladun, my faves. Until next time, love life, love people, and stay lunatic.